Then 10 to 15 minutes, I have a Google form wherein you can put questions and I'll pick a few questions and we can chat on that. So that's another option. A few recommendations: try to keep your video on. The situation that we are in, I don't think we'll be getting out of our home for the next at least couple of months. So interviews, webinars, catch-ups, everything will be online. So this would be a good time for you to, be comfortable on that. For example, I'm feeling it. I mean, this is a different setup to what I usually do. So I have my laptop over here, my camera is over there, and I have another laptop over here. So I'm confused where to look at times, but I know I have to look over there. So things like that, small things like that, make sure that you're comfortable before you get into the serious chats and calls. So just a recommendation from my side. So people who have been, who was a part of last Saturday, what has been happening? What's something new? So accountability is something that I'm trying to build to make sure that you do something rather than me just preaching here and you're going back to your ways. So what's been happening in the last few days?
From my end, please continue.
Please, you carry on.
Yeah, Srikanth, go ahead.
Okay. From my end, I started a couple of courses online through LinkedIn, Udemy, and one more site, Learning Tracks.
So is LinkedIn Learning free now?
Yeah.
So when you log in, it doesn't ask anything, or how does it work?
No, it's working. It's the entire course itself. They are made free. A few courses.
Okay, that's good.
So
is it few courses or it's all the courses?
Few. Not some. In Udemy, they have given some offers for some few dollars. Okay. So elsewise, I'm particularly selecting free courses which will be useful. Some basics. Apart from that, on the personal front, I started doing some physical exercises and started doing my yoga and meditation. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's good. That's excellent.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure who said in the chat box. Yeah, Shivan mentioned that there is a website called Plural Site, which is, I think, similar to Udemy. They're giving a month free courses, so check that out as well. It's called Plural Site. So I think Shivan has shared it in the chat box. Thanks for sharing that, Shivan. Yeah. So that's some additional courses that you can take in, but I think that's free only for the month of April. So go ahead and utilize that as well. Malati, go ahead.
So I had been connecting with many people whom I met in the chat here. So I started a conversation with one of the connections. She's Sonali Bopte. And all of a sudden she asked me, why don't we have a coffee catch-up?
Oh.
So we did an online coffee catch-up, knowing to know each other. In the course, I'm also learning how to speak to her. She's also learning how to speak to me.
That's excellent.
I found that it's a very good exercise. You just spend 20 minutes or so with somebody and get to know how to speak.
Yeah.
Because that person is totally new.
Yeah.
So I would suggest everyone do something like that once a week. Strike up a conversation with one of your connections. That way you know how to initiate conversation. And this is risk-free. You're not chatting with a recruiter, first of all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you are chatting with somebody who are in the same state as you are. And you will learn from each other.
That's excellent advice.
So I have been doing this for the last 3 days.
For the 70 people who have joined in, if you're joining in the next time, I'll probably check in with you if you've been chatting with someone in this group, just to see how things are going. It's really important that we act rather than.
Yeah, that's right.
It's easy to talk. It's easy for me to say, hey, do this, do this, do this, do this. But in the end, it's up to you on what. And these are small steps. These are very small steps. All you have to do is, hey, ping that guy and see if that person is open to a chat. And most of them will be open to having a conversation because no one knows how to tackle the situation. No one knows what to do. So please take that initiative, act on it, and have small conversations around this.
Absolutely.
Anyone else would like to share something? Thanks, Malvi, for sharing that.
So hi, Vinesh, is Mohit here?
Hey, hi, Mohit.
Since the shutdown thing and the stage 3, and you can't go out more than 2 people, and you can't even invite any guests. So I have been, so it's been really like frustrating for like many of people who are outgoing and
Yeah.
can't stay at home. So I have been like, I have got couple of video interviews.
Oh,
So
that's good.
yeah, so I have been doing that, and couple of things that I started doing. I've been doing indoor exercises that I
Oh,
never
good.
tried. Yeah,
Do you use any equipments or you just do some exercises?
I'm just using a simple mat and trying to
Okay,
do some sit-ups and
that's good.
without equipments. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, excellent.
and yep,
So
and also,
I would highly. Oh, sorry for interrupting. Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
yeah. So I was just saying that I also like searching for. I didn't knew about your how are you online meetup. So I just found out a couple of days ago.
There you go.
Uh, Went on to your personal website and found out how can I register for it.
Excellent.
Yeah,
So good to hear that my website is working well, I guess.
it's
So,
working great.
so advice, not advice, I recommend all of you to stay on top of your physical fitness as well, because it's very easy to go down wherever you are going right now, because you have nothing to do. You're not going out of your house. You're not going out for a walk. You're not going to the grocery shop. You're not going to the city, or you're not moving at all. So it's very easy for you to get distracted and go on that downfall. So make sure that you intentionally do something. It could be going for a walk, which you can do.
Yeah,
It's okay to go for a walk. That's what I'm trying to do. I try to go for a walk, but Melbourne weather is getting bad, so it gets a bit tricky weather. But still, try to go for a walk at least, which is
yeah,
very important. Like Srikant mentioned, meditation. I know not everyone is into meditation, but it helps you right now to get focus on some things. If you think, if you have some limiting beliefs or over meditation, go for mindfulness. Both are same. It's just two different words for the same thing. But mindfulness is kind of a modern version for meditation. So try that. There are many apps who help you do that. Something that I found helpful is an app called Smiling Mind. So that's
okay.
quite easy as well. Try going with that as well.
Mention those.
Definitely will try it.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, Mike.
I agree to Vinesh. Can you hear me, guys? It's been I've been always with the headset and headset always play up, so I don't know if this is better. I just gave up the
This
headset.
sounds okay so far. There is a bit of disturbance, but it's all right.
Beautiful, at least that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk on the meditation part, and I've also been doing this actively for quite some time now, even before this thing hit up and coronavirus and all of that stuff. Uh, and I can vouch for the fact that it helps a lot, both while you're working or not working, and you're in crisis and you're not in crisis. I think that's something which everyone needs to. Should
Yeah.
give it a go.
Yeah.
Nothing religious about it, or nothing leaning towards any sort of faith or any of those things. It's just
Yeah.
simple thing for your peace of mind and
So, so
anything.
those who are thinking this is kind of they did not sign up to this event to get a mindfulness or a meditation class.
Yeah.
I'm muting you, Prakash. There's some disturbance.
Okay.
Yeah. So those who, this is not a preaching session or anything. That I'd like to explain why you have to practice meditation or mindfulness right now. Say if you are not doing anything, or if you're just sitting at home and watching TV, it's easy to get overwhelmed by what's happening around here. As in, you think, okay, what do I do now? I can't go out. How would my job search be? Hey, the death rise of COVID is going up. In if you're from India, India is slowly going back into a bad situation. The situation in the US is worse. Boris Johnson is in intensive care unit right now, so people are getting infected. It's easy to get sucked into this negativity, and it's literally really hard to get back and do what you want to do actually, or focus on what you want to do. So that's the reason I'm saying you have to spend some time to bring back your focus, to bring back your brain into what matters. Say if you're planned to do something today, it could be a LinkedIn course, it could be some exercise, it could be something, right? So it's important that you spend time on that, and to make sure that your focus goes over there, you have to do something. Again, the core issue over here is you have to act, you have to do something. All I and other people over LinkedIn can say is, hey, try doing this, try doing this, try doing this. No one can, actually come to your home, which they can't do, literally can't do, and make you get those things done, right? So it's very important that you act on this. Yes, some advice would be crap, some advice would be good, but it's up to you on how you can make the best out of it. Anyone else, anything to share?
Yes, Vinesh, this is Imran here.
Hi, Imran. Thanks for turning on your camera.
No, actually, I was, yeah, you can see that I'm in the bed at the moment.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine.
That's my work desk as well. That's my work desk as well, actually.
Yeah.
For nowadays. But yeah, one thing which I'm doing in, in this testing times and in this isolation period is that I'm reading a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm reading some good books. I think that gives a lot of value to you in terms of opening up your mindset, and you can think differently basically, because they always say that every adversity comes with a greater opportunity, provided you just act on it. So I've read one book which is How Successful People Think, and I've also completed a book, What Got You Here Won't Get You There. So it's I mean, there are other books as well, but yeah, in this last 3 weeks, I have completed these two books, and I'm jumping on to the next one. But I think this is something which I do, and I also do. As everybody was mentioning, that it's very important that we shouldn't be staying at home, and people are talking about the meditation and the mindfulness. And also, what I do, I kind of go out and do running every day, which was not in my daily routine previously. But this, these things have brought new things, right? So yes, adjusting with the new norm of the social, networking and all. But I think it's important to go out, take a fresh air, and also as long as we are, keeping our body fresh, I think we need to keep our mind fresh as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah, some of the things which I'm doing.
Excellent.
So, thank you.
So that's what I'm doing as well. I was never a person who reads books, but the situation that we are in, there is probably no excuse for not reading books. There are tons of books that can help you. One particular book that I just finished reading is Rising Great, I think, Rising Great by Brené Brown. So that actually talks about how you can rise very effectively after a fall. Fall could be anything. It could be a fight. It could be a emotional thing. It could be a physical thing. Anything. But how to rise, or what's the process to rise? So I found that particularly interesting during these tough times, right?
And I would like to say something, Vinesh. I second with what Malati was saying. I think women as such, we need to keep talking to somebody or the other. So even I was able to have this virtual chat with one of the persons I networked on your Catchup. And I must say it actually helps. We come from all different backgrounds and, different lifestyles. So when you connect with people this way, you get to understand each other. There might be something which is common between you all, and, you tend to carry that a long way to go. You can actually build a relationship there. And the other thing, what she mentioned is you have a video call again. So you're able to practice on your video talking skills, or even that it enhances. So I totally, it's a good thing to do a virtual chat up. That really helps.
Absolutely. So we, even though think that we don't like talking to people, in the end, humans are social beings. They are a social species. So even though we think, hey, I don't like talking to people, I personally, I always say in all my platforms that I have high introvert qualities, and I'm not a person who would strike up a conversation to anyone. But if you talk to someone, you feel better. That's a fact, right? The people who are joining in today, after 30 minutes, I'm sure they will feel better than how they were feeling at say 12 p.m. Right? I can guarantee you that. That's a reason. That's one reason that I actually do meetups. I do catch-ups and stuff like that, because at the end I ask this question: are you feeling better than what you felt before 30 minutes? And they definitely do feel, right. So these are some small things that everyone can do. Everyone can talk, right? And it's not important about what you talk. It's just about having someone to listen to what you're saying and listening to someone else, what someone else is going through, right? So it's a shared social support system, I'd say. And excellent. Thanks for sharing that, Sochi. So let's go into today's thing. So as I always said, and those who recently joined, if you think this stuff is fancy, I'm sorry about that. So I have a meetup today evening, and I made this setup for that. I didn't want to disturb it. I thought I'll reuse it for this event. That's the reason I'm looking a bit fancy with the TV, with the laptop and stuff like that. That's the only reason. So the way we do those events is I have a Google form and the meetup. There's a link over there. You submit your questions, and I pick 3 questions, and we discuss about that after the initial conversation. So I'll get into those 3 questions now. So Shivan Kajuria, actually, I think he is in the call. He asked this question: how's the job market in Australia, specifically in Melbourne? Has recession already hit in the market over here? So the way I see it, yes, the market has slowed down, but has it stopped? No, absolutely no. Leah, who was a recruiter, was a part of the last meetup, and what she mentioned is e-commerce industries like Kohl's, Woolworths. Those companies are actually hiring like crazy right now. Even the healthcare industry, they're also hiring. And Hugh, who is another recruiter who was part of my previous catch-ups, and he is a part of the meetup later today as well. He mentioned he is having a particularly busy day, so he'll be joining the meetup today a bit late. So I said, great, you work hard, good for all of us, right? So the market has definitely slowed down. The way people are hiring has changed. But doesn't mean it's completely shut down. Doesn't mean that you have nothing to do. No, I at least 2 people have messaged me the past week saying that they have secured roles and they'll be joining in a couple of weeks. So there is definitely activity over there, but just be mindful on how much activity is going on over there. The next question is by Arpita Sharma. So her question is how to approach for a job in this COVID-19 situation. Before this COVID-19 situation, I had written tons of articles, tons of posts on how to approach on job search. And the primary standout over there is applying online is a very ineffective way to job search. Most of us rely completely on applying online, Seek, LinkedIn jobs, Indeed, whatever platform it is. Yes, that is probably the easiest thing to do, but just because it's the easiest thing to do, everyone does it. People in Melbourne, people in Sydney, people in India, people in United States who don't even have any work rights over here, everyone applies for it, and that's it just piles up. It just makes you an application among hundreds and thousands of applications. Yes, it may work. So the way I got a job over here is by applying through LinkedIn, and I got through, but it's very ineffective. So you should not completely rely on online applications for job seeking, right? So networking plays a key part over here. Get to connect to people, build relationships. People know where the jobs are. Say for example, if I network, I think Harish shared this story last week. on how he networked with Hugh, who was part of another online catch-up, helped him getting in touch with a recruiter who he could not get in touch directly. So references matter here. Getting to know the right people matter here. And there's I don't know the science behind this. There's a popular statistics which says that 60 to 80% of the jobs are not advertised in Australia. So you have to make sure you focus your energy on getting in touch with the right people, getting in touch with people who can help you. Don't go just for a help. Remember, it's a relationship. It's a two-way bridge. You have to build that relationship. You have to earn that trust before acting on it. But that's the way. So this is pre-COVID or pre-shutdown season. This is what I would have recommended. Now, yes, most of it is still applicable, but you can't network in person right now, unfortunately. There used to be, Meetup used to be an excellent platform for you to do anything. Unfortunately, you can't do that right now. But instead, the online world is booming up right now, right? So webinars like this, people are jumping, people just want to do something. So they're getting into events like this. There are tons of online webinars that are going on right now. People are more active on LinkedIn right now. So this would be the right time for you to strike a conversation with someone online on LinkedIn and slowly build that relationship and see how things go. Again, be mindful of who you're talking to. Be mindful of what the situation that person is in right now. It could be that that person is about to lose their job or they've already lost their job. So don't go and say, hey, I'm looking for a job. Can you help me over here? Like, no, I mean, they won't even bother to reply, right? So be mindful of the conversations. Make sure that you're empathetic towards people and build that conversation. And like Maldi said, Maldi and Suji shared over here, you can build lasting relationships in this time if you approach it in the right way. If you approach it in the right way is very important, because otherwise you're just trying to, you're being selfish and you're trying to make something out of the situation, which is understandable considering your situation, but considering the situation of the person who you are talking to may not be helpful at this time.
Sorry, Vinesh. Vinesh, can I ask a question, please?
Yes, go ahead.
When you say, the networking, do the networking and the social space and do it in a right way, could you kindly share what are some of the do's and the don'ts, so that, because it's a new norm and everybody is adjusting, and, the human interaction is super important. When you're meeting with someone, it's a very different feeling when you're meeting somebody online. It still feels pretty strange, and a person feels a bit more stranger than normal. So if you could please throw some light on that, that would be fine.
So I'll give you an example. This is applicable pre-shutdown period and what's happening right now as well, right? I daily get hundreds of, not hundreds, I'm exaggerating a bit, but I do get a few messages every week saying, and they just connect to me. And the first message they send is, hey, I'm looking for a job in Australia. Can you refer me to your network? And that's what unfortunately, that's what 90% of job seekers do. This is not the right. And when I used to job search, I used to do the same as well. So it's not your fault. It's probably the fact that you don't know how to use this platform, or you don't know how to approach people. Networking on LinkedIn is same as networking in person as well. Would you go to a person and straight away ask, hey, I'm looking for a job, can you help me? Or to give you a different analogy, on you see a girl you like, and would you directly ask, hey, will you marry me? That's the same impact that's happening right now, right? So it's very important that you're gentle on this. You make sure that there is a reason for that person to respond. So the way I say it is, for example, if you want to reach out to me, yes, if you send me a message, I will respond. But a better, more effective way to reach out to me is, I post a lot of content on LinkedIn. So yeah, weekly, I think 2 to 3 times I do post on LinkedIn. If you comment on that with some engaging conversations, not, hey, thanks, you're awesome, agree, or simply a share. No, not a simple comment. Instead, if you ask some insightful questions to me, and if we strike a conversation over there, do this 2 to 3 times, not 2 to 3, probably do this to a week or two, then even though I haven't talked to you in person, I know you are this person. I know you are interested in knowing about this, or I know you are ready to put that effort into this relationship as much as I am willing to, right? And after that, if you just message me, hey, had wonderful conversations in the past couple of weeks. I just wanted to thank you. Would you like to have this take over this conversation over a cup of coffee or virtual coffee or whatever it is in this time? And that's when that conversation becomes more effective rather than just jumping in and giving a cold email. So think about that in different perspectives. You can expand that story in different perspectives. If you want to connect to a hiring manager, if you want to connect to a recruiter, if you want to connect anyone, right? If they're active on LinkedIn, this is one way to do it. Otherwise, if it was not a shutdown situation, you could go to meetups and have a conversation. I always say, if you can create some context before sending a message to that person, that would be way better than just sending a cold message. Yes, cold emails, cold calling, everything works if you're a good salesman, and selling is an art. If you're good at that, go for it. But me, I'm a software engineer, I'm not a seller, right? I can't do that. I can't pick up the phone and say, hey, blah, 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 and trying to sell myself. I can't do that, right? So if you're a good seller, go for it, that'll work. But if not, you have to make sure that there is a story or there is something that makes your conversation more effective. Thanks for that question, Imran. So I'm going to the last question over here. This is by
I'll just add one more thing.
Yep, go ahead.
I also think that when you start commenting on, or when you start discussing those LinkedIn posts, it also kind of gives the other person a sense of your thought process or your the way you appreciate, and maybe you end up striking an understanding that this person is of a better wavelength, or of the same wavelength rather. So the person might get interested in talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the perks of commenting is your visibility goes up on LinkedIn. People start seeing your content, so that's a side effect. I'd say a good side effect. All right. So one more question for today. This question is by Yashdeep Kumar. So I think he is not in Is Yashdeep on the call? I don't think so, but nevertheless. Okay. I think everyone who's on the call is already in Australia, right? So I'll probably skip that question. And his question is, he is planning to move to Australia, and what can he do in the meantime? So I'll probably skip that question as that's not relevant right now. I have a question by Shruti in the comments, so I'll probably touch on that. How do you explain 2+ year gap on your resume? I had family emergencies due to which I have this gap. Would this have a negative impact for me professionally? Absolutely no. There is no negative impact. I think we have touched on this topic in the past as well. Gaps are fine. Gaps are absolutely fine as long as you explain. Explain as in you don't have to go in details. In your resume or in your LinkedIn, if you have a 2-year gap and you're not mentioning what it is, if you're not mentioning what it is, you're letting the recruiters or whoever is reading that, their imagination go wild. Right? They'll be thinking, okay, what was this person doing? Was she put in jail for something, or was she just addicted to something, or blah, something, right? Instead, whatever it is, it could be a medical emergency, taking care of your family or taking care of whatever it is. It could be traveling, exploring the world, which is a completely valid reason. It could be exploring something else, or it could be migrating to a new country and exploring the country. It could be taking care of kids. Everything is fine, but just have a one-line explanation, on a one-line description on why you had a gap over there. And if you had done some upskilling, if you had done some online courses, if you had done some courses over there, please list it over there as well. Otherwise, there is no issues for having a gap over there. But of course, you'll have to prove yourself. You have to prove the skills to whoever you're talking to, which is applicable even if you have a gap or not. But as such, just because there's a gap in your resume, there's not going to be any impact. All right. So that was my 3 questions right now, and I'm done with that. So like I think some people are already doing that. If you could share your LinkedIn URL in the comments, we could all connect to each other. That's unfortunately the best way I've seen to share or to keep ourselves connected. So just share in the chat box your LinkedIn URL. Feel free to catch up, have a virtual coffee like Malti and Sonali, right? Or Sneha, I forgot the name. Maldi and someone else had a conversation. Go ahead, have a conversation. You never know who can help or how helpful that'll be at this time. So share the LinkedIn profiles in chat boxes. One bad thing about this is the chat box will disappear when you log off. So if you want to make a copy right now. And that's that for me. Anything else you'd like to share today? No, nothing.
Hi Vinesh.
Hi Shivan, how are you?
I am doing good. So currently I'm also like doing all the online courses. So I have a small question. Like I'm trying to learn a lot of skills and trying to do courses from Udemy. So how recruiters see that like the certification is fine, but if I have done multiple learnings from Udemy or have that online certificate, how much does that carry during this time, during lock time? If I have done like suppose I'm a Python developer and I'm also learning data science and also learning the tools like Tableau from Udemy, will that learning from Udemy help me in my CV, or it will have a very minor effect?
See, the way I see it, I'm pretty sure the case is same during this time as well. Certifications are for your upskilling, for you to learn, and for you to make sure that you're on top of things, right? Just because you have a certificate, it's not going to give you an enormous advantage in the application or in the job search scene. Yes, it's good to have, but it won't. Just because you have a certificate, it won't open your doors, right? The important thing is you have to apply those learnings and something. Say, for example, you said you're learning something on Python. You could do some sort of hobby or some sort of mini project and showcase that on either on LinkedIn, GitHub, or anywhere, wherever you want to, right? So showing that you're using those skills or you're applying those skills on your work or your hobby or your project, that's what matters here. And when you put it that way, it becomes way stronger than just a piece of certification, right? So certifications, what's bad about it is everyone shares on LinkedIn, hey, I got the certifications, I'm so proud. And the certification, I'm like, okay, good for you. But what does it have in, or what can I gain? For example, you posted on LinkedIn, I saw it. I'm like, good for you. But what is there in it for me, right? You got a certification, good. You're proud, good. I'm happy for you, good. But if you could share, what did you learn out of it? What was hard? What values were in that? Or how are you planning to apply that in your work? I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. So if I'm planning to take that course, I have to be careful of this, and this might be interesting for me, or this might not be interesting for me. So that's another thing about sharing certification. It's not directly answering your question. I gave some extra inputs over there. So make sure that you should be in a mode where you're giving before you take. Don't showcase, hey, I did this. One thing that I'm seeing so much is people are right now posting their work from home setups, and some people are getting pissed about that. Like, okay, fine, you can work from home, but not everyone is fortunate to have that situation, right? So be mindful of what you're sharing. Always give value. Make sure you're portraying it in the right way before you ask for help or before you just showcase your things. All right, so I see a lot of comments in the chat box. I'm not going through each and every one of them. If you want, so I have a question for Marcia, by the way. How's things going at Industry Connect? How's things changing over there? You're on mute, Marcia. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was on my way. I'm a bit slow. No, it's all, hi everyone. No, it's all going good on our side, as normal, and nothing has really changed on our side because our program and internship has been online since 2018. So we haven't really been affected. There is still, I mean, even on LinkedIn, when I look, there is still a lot of job opportunities available in the IT market. And somewhere I saw a post that it's grown by 17%. Now, if it's true, I don't know, but that's great. It shows that there is opportunities. The most important thing is, I think, is for now is to, if you can show to a company what value you can add to that team and their projects from day one. Now, it shows they want to see that you can be productive from day one. Then your opportunities can be so much better to get into the market.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and in terms of with the networking, guys, it would be really great if you all can switch on your camera so we can see, get to know each other, meet each other, know who we're talking to, because now I'm just seeing photos and I'm like, well, I don't know what this person looks like, and I would like to know, put a name, a face to the name. So yeah, switch on so we can meet each other and get to know.
Yeah.
So yes, it's great. It's absolutely, I love this networking. Even when I talk to people, if I can FaceTime, go for it, because I get to see people. I'm not just talking to a blank screen or just normal phone call. I mean, use the opportunity, meet people, connect with people, and just chat. I mean, get out of that comfort zone or hide behind your screen. Get out of it and meet. That's why what Vinesh is doing, I think, is absolutely great way for everyone to meet and connect with new people, especially in this time. That's me. I'm doing a lot of talking again today.
That's fine. So those
I have a question to Marcia and Vinesh. I'm not sure if this is the fair thing to ask, but would any of you volunteer to kind of have an more like an, what do you say, HR kind of a session, as in what Marcia just said, that how I can add value to the company kind of stuff, so that it would be more like an to keep it very short, it would be more like a mock interview for us, especially for the ones who are here for the first time. So if anyone is interested, just buzz, and so that I'll connect to them, and probably that's not over in this forum, but it's for a one-to-one, saying that how to groom yourself.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Send a message to Marcia, see if she can help. Definitely, I'm sure that tons of people are ready to share. And by the way, those who don't know Marcia, she works with an organization called Industry Connect, who helps upskill yourself. So they have a lot of courses, primarily in the IT sector. So you sign in for the courses, they train you, and they set you up for an internship. And there are tons of success stories. I see it on Facebook. Your ads come up always for me on Facebook, so it's a good thing. So that's what she works in, and that's how. That's I mean, just wanted to give a brief of what she does.
Thanks.
So yeah, as you said, Harish, I mean, try reaching out to people like this. Try reaching out to recruiters. I see hundreds of posts from recruiters saying, "Hey, I'm open to help you. I'm open to do this. I'm open to do that." Tons of things. So go for it. Fine, but I put a post yesterday. Make sure that you're following the right people, because there is so much content on LinkedIn right now. It's easy to get lost. It's easy to not know what is right, what is wrong. So make sure you have a set of people. Hopefully I am in that set of people, and religiously follow them. Otherwise you'll just get lost. And LinkedIn is known for content to get lost, right? I might post, when I used to do my meetups, or when I used to announce my meetups on LinkedIn, I used to get complaints every day saying, "Hey, I couldn't see that post, but now it's sold out. What can I do about that?" Right? So it's easy to miss. If, say, for example, if I'm posting 3 times a week, you might just see it once a week, right? If you're not on LinkedIn. So make sure that you're following a set of people, and you're following their content. So for example, Naishad is doing like LinkedIn Live every day. It's easy to miss it. It's easy to not get overwhelmed by it. So just make a list or make sure that you're you know who you're following. All right, excellent. So just before we wind up, a self promotion by me. I have a meetup today evening. It's a 2-hour meetup. So people who have been part of it, I think Mercy has been a part of it in the past. Who else? So no one else has been a part of it in the past. So it's a 2-hour meetup where we discuss about the main challenges that we are facing, some LinkedIn and tricks, how to effectively have a good LinkedIn profile. And in the end, we'll have a Q&A with a few recruiters and coaches. So I have 3 recruiters and 2 coaches coming in as well. So if you're interested, please sign up for it. And this will be the setup. So this was a test for that event. I hope this works good, right? Everything is good. I just want your feedback from you. Good? Okay. Thank you.
Looks very smart.
Yes, thank you. I'm trying to not I love investing time in this up, making stuff like this, making an environment. So I ordered a webcam, I ordered a new headphones. So those who have been in my previous meetup, there used to be a thing hanging on my ear. I ordered a new headphone. So I'm really interested in doing stuff like this, and these keep me engaged during these tough times. So, all right, thanks. As I always say, my next event, next catch-up will be on Saturday. So if you have, I'm forcing you to do something interesting so that we can hear what you've been doing in the past 1 week. Just trying to make hold accountable for everyone and get through this together. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Sorry, Vinesh. First of all, it's a fantastic setup. Just a very quick one. The meetup you're talking about is Australia job seekers, job hunt. Is that the meetup? Sorry, the meetup you're talking about in the evening, which is a 2 hours meetup. Is it a job hunt 2.0?
It's the job hunt 2.0 is the whole group's name. So this event comes under that. The Australia Job Seekers event. It used to be Melbourne Job Seekers. I renamed it to Australia Job Seekers now. So that is a monthly event that I do every month. This is more than once. This is like a casual thing. That is a serious big event.
Okay, so this is Australia Job Seekers, which is happening in the evening at
6 p.m.
6 to 8. Is that what? 6 to 8.
Yeah, okay. 6 p.m. today. Yeah.
Okay. And okay, fantastic. Okay, thank you.
All right. So until next time, bye bye.